Today, I would like to talk with you about a simple key that helps you unlock a vast range of potential. Some of the most phenomenal lessons are very simple, and in order to embrace them, you almost have to learn to give credit to things that you might just pass over. In order for this to make sense, I'd like to tell you a little story. Soon after I began to follow the first hints of psychic awareness within myself, I left my job and moved into a house in which I had several roommates. I wasn't used to having roommates, and it was challenging for me to share space with people who I didn't know very well because I was so increasingly aware of everything around me. One day I was having a conversation quite close with one of these people, and as we were talking, I heard something that felt extremely rude. And I was like, wait, did you just say you're not the responsible one? And that's what I heard in the middle of the conversation. She said that, and she was like, she looked shocked. And she's like, that's not the kind of thing I say out loud. And she actually told me that. And in the all-in-one moment, I realized I was not able to distinguish between what I was picking up on in this way and a normal conversation. And my roommate didn't think I was particularly responsible, which was challenging in its own way. This was earth-shattering for me because at the time I really wanted to become more psychic, and my commitment to doing that was taking over my life. I was doing everything I could to amplify my attention in this way with only the inner guidance that I had available. I didn't know any teachers who were giving me a path, studies, exercises, things to do. So I was trying to develop these techniques for myself, and as a result, I was succeeding much more than I realized. Increasingly, I was hearing things that were not being said, but I was picking up on other people's thoughts. And that was the first level of psychic connection that I began to differentiate from normal reality. Here is the powerful lesson that I'd like you to embrace. And I'm going to say it, and then we're going to readdress it. We have an extraordinary amount of power based in what we believe. If you believe you're psychic, you become more psychic. If you believe you are not psychic, you become less psychic. So when people try to sift through this question as if it's a scientific, objective reality, they fail to tap into this extraordinary gift, and it becomes a hidden back door to what we know of as reality. If reality is not an objective, concrete thing where you can say this is true or this is not true, we're living in a fluid world in which our influence has far more power than you might even want to have. As a result, the first step you need to take is to just end this question. You are psychic. Everyone is psychic. There are way too many psychic studies done by accredited, highly respected institutions, universities all over the world that demonstrate that normal people become psychic given just moderate amounts of training. There are countless studies that fit into this model, and yet we haven't changed our belief as a culture in Western globalist capitalist worldview. Why? Well, the answer is as simple as the last point I made. We don't want it to be true as a culture. We want things to be more scientific and objective and tangible. And when we embrace the power of our belief, we're forced to change all sorts of preconceptions and preconditions of the reality we share. And it's been too challenging for us to do it as a magnificent culture. Now, when you embrace this on your own, it's going to have an immediate impact. And you just have to trust. We live within a world that, for the most part, it's going to be countermanded by the mainstream reality. And I don't encourage you to push this on people. That will immediately dampen your influence. It's not a form of argument that will make you a more effective psychic person. You need to just believe it. And in order to cultivate that belief on your own, you have to be willing to look at things that you might not want to look at. Because the truth of this is that you yourself are hiding from you. In order to get deeper in psychic awareness, you need to be willing to face things about yourself that you have effectively repressed. And you have to be willing to move through that repression in order to get to the next level of psychic awareness, because otherwise you can't differentiate between what is and is not psychic. Once you embrace that commitment, you will begin to discern areas in which your psychic presence is already here. And in the next video, I'd like to talk with you about how to make that more vibrant, more real every day. Simple techniques that'll put you in a position to make use of psychic awareness to live a much better life.